Okay, we're opening up the webinar. So if you're looking to streamline your business, you are in the right place. We have a lot of people coming into the webinar this morning, so we're going to give just a minute or two to allow people to get in and get settled. So come on in, get settled, and be ready for a great learning experience.
Yay.
We all need to know how to streamline, right?
We are here for less stress in 2024 for sure.
I know. I've been in business for a long time and I'm still trying to streamline.
I
You
think
you
it's a
haven't?
never-ending thing, but we just got to keep working at it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, less stress. Hi, Brittany.
Totally agree
Glad
with
to
you,
have you.
Brittany.
Yeah, we could all use less stress in our lives. Going to give it just a couple more minutes. Again, if you're interested in learning how to streamline your business, you are in the right place. So sit back, have that second, third, fourth cup of coffee. Eat your
Midday
sandwich.
push.
This is the lunch and learn.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, Rashida. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Oh, I probably should mention too. So if you are in the chat, just be sure to change it from host and panelist to everyone so that we could all engage and really get going today.
Good point. We have a lot of territory to cover today. So hi, Karen. Nice to have you. Chris, good morning. I think it is just 12 o'clock or a minute or so after.
Yep.
Got a lot of people in. People are still coming in.
Love it.
But I think we'll go ahead and get started because we do have a lot of information to cover. So,
Okay.
and then people can join in as they come. Again, welcome. My name is Jane Meyer, and I'm a SCORE mentor with the SCORE Central Jersey chapter. We are excited to have you with us today. I think you're going to learn a lot from our excellent speaker. We'll introduce her in just a minute. We're going to talk about streamlining your business and give some really detailed information about some tools that you can use to do that. Can I have the next slide?
Sure.
Thank you. I know most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with SCORE, probably our SCORE clients. We're happy to have you back. Just a little reminder about SCORE. We are a nationwide organization, and we're a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. So our mission is the same as SBA's, and that is just to help small businesses. We love to help small businesses get started, to grow, and even if you're looking to sell or close your business, we can help with that as well. We do our work in three ways. The first, I think, is the most important, and that is our mentoring services. Working with small businesses directly, one mentor or two mentors, depending on the situation, can work with small businesses and help you with anything. So if you're thinking about starting a business, if you just started a business and need to know how to get that up and running, if you're in business and need help growing your business, maybe you need help with HR, or operations, or finances, or marketing, we can help you with that. So go to score.org and find yourself a mentor. We also do a lot of business training on a wide variety of topics. That's like today is one of those training sessions. We have lots and lots of webinars that are recorded and on our website. And you can also go to the website and see the webinars that are coming up. And many of our chapters do in-person workshops. So you might look for those as well. I know our Central Jersey chapter does some hands-on in-person workshops in our specific area. And then we have lots and lots of resources on our website. Again, anything from, how to think about starting a business to how to close a business, templates, blogs, articles, you name it. And all of these resources are free. So take advantage of the resources that are there for you. We would love to work with you. We love helping small business. So for today's webinar, it is being recorded, so you'll be able to view it afterwards. You'll receive an email that will have our speakers' slides, so you can refer to those, and also a link to that where the webinar is recorded. And please put your questions in the chat. And as Tanisha suggested earlier, please open the chat to everyone so we can all take advantage of comments and questions. We're going to take some questions at specific places during the presentation. So we'll do that along the way, and then at the end we'll have time for questions as well. So enough about SCORE and all of us. We're really interested in hearing what Tanisha has to say. I'd like to introduce our speaker, Tanisha Halstead. I've known Tanisha for a long time. Well, when
Sure
she
have.
very first started your very first business, I don't know, what, 8, 9 years ago, something like that?
I don't even know the years, but it's been a while, Jane, and it's been a wild ride, and you've been on it the whole time.
Yeah, it's been fun, and it's been wonderful to see Tanisha grow and just blossom. So today, Tanisha is CEO and founder of her business called Virtually Centered Solutions. And so she helps a lot of small businesses with all kinds of interesting things. And I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell you a little bit about her and her business, and share some really good information with us. Thanks, Tanisha.
No, thank you, Jane. And I want to thank SCORE for giving me this opportunity to be able to share some value with the small business community. And just a little bit about me. I am, as Jane said, the CEO and founder of Virtually Centered Solutions. I have about 15 plus years in the business and tech field. I am a single mom of 2 teenage boys at this moment, and I like to throw a little fun in there. So fun fact is that one of my faves is actually watching 90 Day Fiance, and I mean all the variations. I actually have been an active SCORE mentee or client for many years now. I just admired the way that even though as volunteers, they support and really just want to see small businesses grow. So you might be wondering who this workshop is for. And it's really for new business owners who may have been in business for about a year. Maybe you are a solopreneur who has been in business for 2 to 5 years, or maybe you have a small, or I like to say lean team, where you're looking to simplify your operation. So we want to keep things engaging throughout this workshop. So to kick that off, I'd like to know who we have here in the chat. So if you're a new business, I want you to type new. If you're existing, I'd love for you to actually type existing in the chat, and it'll just give us an idea of who we have here with us. Okay. See that coming in. Okay, so we have a good mix. It looks like we've got new with a mixture of existing, and we have some that are both. Oh, that's exciting. Maybe you're starting another business, you have one already. So that's a good idea. Oh my gosh, 20 years. Congratulations. All right, awesome. So I like to get intrigued and know if you're even feeling chatty. An extra bonus would be to share one thing that you hope to learn from this workshop. I love it to feel like a fireside chat. You'll hear me say that a lot, and that it's really a safe space for us to learn and grow together. So what we'll learn today. So I'm genuinely excited to have you here today. And because this entrepreneurial journey, it can really feel like you're putting out like a bunch of flaming torches. But today, let's talk about different ways of how we can put some of those torches down and really just find our rhythm, because we want to have less stress with our daily task. And sorting through emails can be a daily struggle. And I really want you to realize that there's a need for change. So today I will be sharing different strategies and techniques that can transform that chaotic inbox into really a manageable sanctuary. So some additional housekeeping things is, in helping small businesses for over 5 years with tech solutions, I have tried a lot of different tools. In fact, I like to say I have shiny tech syndrome. But I wanted to let you know that I'm not actually a Google rep. However, most of the small businesses that I've worked with, they use Google Workspace really based on the ease of use and how the integrations go across many apps. They have a really starter package that's low cost of entry. And that's why in this presentation, it's going to be focused a lot on that tool with examples. So I'll be sharing still practical steps that can be used with other tools. And I might actually say some names of other tools as we're going because they can still accomplish the same results. And so in the presentations that I do, I always like to emphasize or really emphasize that it's not about the tool. It's about knowing your process and coupling that with the best tool. So for me, the best tool is the one you actually use. So let's focus on, some simplicity, and be able to get through that. Okay, awesome. So let me paint you a picture. You start your day, you might have a flood of emails, your appointments might be piling up, and you have an endless to-do list. So let me know if that sounds familiar in the chat, type a yes, no, or anything that resonates with you, because I want you to know that we've all been there. And the overwhelm, it's real, and it can be impactful on your business and not quite in a good way. So I love a good GIF. And this one makes me holler every time because I, for a while, felt like I was hitting a breaking point and I was just trying to juggle everything. I'm like, it's just, I can do this, I can do that. But I hit a breaking point and started to really understand that the importance is sometimes just going back to basics and keeping it simple. It's not just about being organized. We want to reclaim our peace of mind. So I'm a small business just like you, looking for solutions for this simplicity. And that's why it's not just a buzzword to me. It's really a game changer for us, especially as a small business owner where we are the marketing person, the salesperson, sometimes the bookkeeper. But today, we're going to dive into some practical tips to be able to help you not juggle it all. As I mentioned earlier, most of the examples that I'll show will be with Google Workspace. It's formerly G Suite, so you might know it as G Suite, but they're the same thing. It's a flexible, helpful, and business collaboration tool that allows you to change the way you work, really, especially if you're remote. So you can get access to business versions of Google Meet, Google Chat, Google Drive, Google Docs, Sheets, and so much more. Type in the chat if you're already using Google Workspace or are you using something like Outlook, just to also give me an idea, because I do have some resources that I'll share. So really, this productivity app lets you know and really keep those tools that you love all in one location so that you can create, communicate, and collaborate. Okay, so I'm just looking in the chat. Okay, so it looks like we have a good mix. We have some that are using Google, some that are using both, and some using Outlook, and also someone using Zoho. Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. All right, so with Google Workspace, your email provider, it could be your email provider, a tool for you to collaborate, and also a meeting software all in one. So I highlighted some of the key features here. about the way that allows you to collaborate, having cloud-based storage to be able to access your documents anywhere, integrated communication, meaning like you can use things like Google Chat, just being able to use documents and being able to collaborate easily. And last but not least is their security and compliance. I was actually quite impressed after going to a seminar about their cybersecurity updates that they've done recently. So as a small business owner, we typically don't have an IT team. So this allows us to, have that added security, not only for our documents, but also for our clients. And before I actually go to the next slide, I wanted to say that one of the main points too is that as a small business owner, for a nominal fee, you're able to have a professionally branded business email, provided that you've purchased your domain name. And that just means that you can have a .com, a .org, etc. And it really just allows your business to look like a business. Okay, perfect. So I just also wanted to highlight their different tiers of plans and just point out some key things. So as a business owner, you can start with the starter plan, which is only $6 a month if you commit for a year. Just take a look at that. If you're doing video meetings, you can have 100 participants, and you can also have a pretty good amount of storage space. But I like to point out, if you're on the standard plan, some of that increases like the number of participants, but then you also increase on your storage size. And if you're someone who's booking appointments, they now actually have Google Bookings, which is something similar to Calendly and Acuity, where it's integrated and people are able to book based on slots that you allot. And so now that we've kind of done a little housekeeping, we've done some general info, I want us to get practical. So your time is valuable, and I want to ensure that you walk away with some quick wins. We're all about the quick wins here, linked with some tools and techniques that can help you supercharge your daily efforts. So let's blend that technology in now. So I'm actually going to pause right here just to see if we have any questions in the chat so far. Okay, so, there's a question about which site gives professional email cheap. So I'm assuming that you're talking about purchasing your domain. I'm not sure. You could put it in the chat. If you're talking about what I just spoke about, it's any of these business plans from starter up to enterprise. They allow you to, after you have purchased your domain, be able to have a professional business email. Okay.
The one question was, is there an app for Google Workspace on Mac?
On Mac, yes, I'm currently on a Mac and using Google Workspace. Okay. All right. So the next thing I wanted to go into is thinking of your email as a garden. So weeds, I like to call it, in the form of unnecessary emails, can quickly take over. So we want to regain control, and your garden needs regular care. So some pros I have listed here for inbox management is, really having important messages be accessible, less time searching, and we want to reduce that clutter. Now, some of the cons is really having too much organization. Sometimes you can overlook emails. You have to build up that muscle of learning how to check the different folders and things like that as you get started. But ultimately, it's a win for you in the long run in being able to regain that control. So those are just some pros and cons. And now we'll get into some tips of how we can do that. So one of the intro steps that I call it, kind of like the first baby step, is in Gmail, you can use categories, which are features that automatically sort your emails into different tabs. So newsletters would go into the promotions tab. Meanwhile, those who maybe seemed important go into your primary, and then social things like, your Instagram notifications, your LinkedIn notifications, all those would go into that social tab. Now, it's not perfect, but it gives you a high level sorting view. And the quick win from that is setting up these categories. It allows you to watch your inbox become more organized instantly. If you remember in the previous image, it was just one straight shot of all your emails and just looking like it was over, I don't even know, it was probably like over 2,000 something emails just floating there. This then allows you to prioritize and say, okay, I'm going to tackle the primary category first and then move into the others. Um, a pro tip for that, and this is just for someone that's just getting started and looking for some ways to have some inbox management, is really dedicating 10 minutes a day and being able to unsubscribe from newsletters you don't read, archive or delete old emails, and create folders for better organization. We're actually going to go into folders, which is my next slide, but this here can also be done in Outlook. And I will actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat. For those that are using Outlook, I did actually pull up something that may be able to help you as far as a link in creating categories in Outlook. Okay, perfect. All right. So the
Someone
other thing,
asked if the emails go into the folders directly, into the
so
correct folders directly.
yeah, so if you do have categories, majority of the time it will flow into the correct category. But it's a tool, and sometimes it acts up. Text sometimes acts up, and you may have an email that uh flows into a different category. I'm gonna get into a tool later that kind of does this, but it uses a little AI feature as well. Hopefully that answered the question. All right, perfect. So here is another way to create some inbox management, and that's creating folders. So with folders, I put a couple of examples here. So how to do it, you'd be able to create a new label and be able to create that folder. Then what happens is here visually you can see this folder was created for need follow-up. So now this has been flagged as something that needs to be followed up. You can clearly see, instead of just your bunch of emails being laid out, that this one is red and it's going to bring it straight to your attention. And a pro tip here is using a number format such as 001 dash needs attention, because what happens is as you create these folders, they will sort in ABC format. And, you may have something that starts with a D and it goes at the top, but you really needs follow-up to be at the top. You can go ahead and do that, and then it'll keep it in the format of what's most important to you or what's priority. And then I'm thinking about my Outlook users as well. And so you're able to create folders as well. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat as well. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat for those that are using Outlook, of how you can do that. All right. So next, I wanted to share a tool. So this is a bonus. So those tips I shared earlier, I think of them as like intro steps. Um, there is a way that you can actually, once you've created the folders, you can create auto filters to be able to have different emails filtered to those folders. There's different things you can do where you can skip the inbox, have it marked as read, and just allows you to create some organization within your inbox. This tool though that I'm sharing is a bonus. So if you're looking for, a little bit more advanced tool where um, this is called SaneBox, and it's actually a inbox cleanup tool that can be used not just with Google Workspace or Gmail, I should say. It actually works with any email client service or device. It really just simply adds a folder to your current email setup and allows you to filter unimportant emails or just to keep things that are important in your inbox, things that maybe they're important but maybe a lower priority, and something that you'll look at later. And then there's also things like Sane News. So that's for if you are having newsletters, different subscriptions, and similar to the other folders that we talked about with Google or Gmail before, they sometimes will get filtered to the wrong box. But what you can do is train the email. So say it went to the wrong box, then you go ahead, you put it where it should be, and then the next time it'll do that. So this is a tool for someone who's a little bit more advanced and they're looking for really another way to save hours. So a personal note on that is before, my assistant was the one going in and sorting the emails into the folders and kind of doing more of the skimming and organizing our emails. But now we currently use this tool and she's able to no longer have to worry about that. It pretty much automatically sorts our emails and then it's easier for us to work. And it really has just, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
was that you, Jane?
Yeah. I was just curious about this SaneBox. Does that integrate with your email?
Yes, it does. So it integrates with any email provider, such as, we have people on the webinar today that are using Gmail, Outlook. It will integrate with any email client service provider.
And is there a cost to it?
Yes. So this is a subscription based. It's so funny because on their frequently asked question, there's a question of like, why is it not free? And it's just like you think about it, you get what you pay for. They put different features into place that is really helping and saving small businesses time and money with their, email being such an overwhelm. So there is a cost to it, but I like to think about it as what is the biggest reward you're getting? I think they give you a 30-day trial. I was using it for the business email, loved it so much that I actually now utilize it with my personal email as well. So again, we're looking for less stress, and it was rewarding to me to not come in and see my email be like a jungle.
Yeah. So give it a try. Give it a try
Yeah.
and see. And do you know what the cost is?
Um, I've changed my plan. Let me see if I might
That's all
not
right.
be, yeah, we can take a look at it later as we're like going through Q&A. Maybe I'll have a little bit of time just to pull it up.
That's fine.
But yeah, so they do actually have different pricings where you can just get it for one email box or you can get it for multiple email boxes. Okay. All right. So let's move on here. All right. So let's jump into scheduling techniques. So with scheduling techniques, time is money. And in the entrepreneurial world, how many times have you found yourself maybe double booked or lost in just a sea of meetings, forgetting that you even had a meeting. So Google Calendar, I like to say, like that movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, can really be like your ultimate time guardian. And it's really there. I listed some pros and cons, but it's really there to help you plan specific times for tasks that help you use your time more wisely. We really want to get away from or stop more of that double booking. And this allows you to be able to see your day at a full view and see what's happening quickly. And so I do want to say that sometimes it can allow you to be less flexible because I even find myself sometimes saying, and if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. But we do still want to figure out how we can use these features to make the most of our days. So one of the other quick wins in how to utilize your calendar for efficiency is to block out specific times for focused work, meetings, or maybe just breaks. Hey, think about even putting lunch in there. It's really this simple act that can prevent you from overcommitting and help you to allocate your time wisely. So, a pro tip here is color coding your events. So, for me, I like to say that my calendar looks like a bag of Skittles because I have so many different colors, and I'm a mom of two teenage athletes who have calendars with their activities. So, I have everything feeding into this one calendar and assign different colors. And it allows me to spot and say, oh, today's maybe a heavy day for meetings, or I see some white space. I will have that for a break, or just using it time to focus on deep work for the business. The visual cues really help you to understand your day at a glance and prevent that overcommitting. All right, so let's pause here for a second and see.
So you're
Okay.
talking about your Google Calendar.
Yes. Okay, yeah, because I see some. No, I'm not still referring to same box. This is actually in your Google Calendar. Um, oh, and someone asked, how do I integrate different calendars? So when you're inside of your Google Calendar, so there's a feature here where you can uh add other calendars. So this is where when I say I'm a mom of athletes and their teams have calendars that you can subscribe to. In fact, we have one on the Virtually Centered Solutions page, and it has a calendar that you can subscribe, and it'll show all of our events that are happening. And once you do that, the calendar it'll ask you some questions. I think if you have a link or just different ways, but you can add different calendars like that, or you can create your own. So I have a couple that I create, and I'll share a little bit about that because the next topic we'll be talking about time blocking. So hopefully that answered that question. Okay, perfect. So the next thing that we'll get into is time blocking. And this can be, a topic where there's a little tussle sometimes because some people say they don't see the benefit. But I like to do a little bit of loose time blocking, and I'll talk about what that means in the next slide. But really, it's a personal favorite of mine. But you can also utilize Google Calendar. And I listed here some categories and just pros and cons of it. And you're able to block out time for specific tasks to help you stay focused and concentrate without distractions. And this also helps you to plan your day in a way that's actually valuable, or not having you feel like you haven't done anything. And you're able to use Google Calendar's appointment slots to even make it clear when you're free for meetings to reduce mix-ups. Um, some of the con is, the tricky start of figuring things out about how to use it, what time blocks really work for you. but it's really a trial and error type of thing. Believe me, sometimes mine is seasonal where one day works for something, but we might be in a heavy like football season or maybe track and field season where things change with the timing. So just leave room for flexibility. And so, how I like to think of time blocking is imagining my day divided into many focus zones. So, for example, like maybe from 9:11 to 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to designate it as a really like focused work time where there's no meetings, no distractions, just dedicated work. And I recently applied this technique to my mornings and actually like my middays. And I was actually kind of impressed at how I felt throughout the day. So, some of the things that I like to consider, because as a business owner, we can get hyper focused on one task. So, I like to think about how am I starting my day? So, I do have an area on my calendar where it's focused or its topic is daily kickstart. So I have a few things to help me keep in routine with like, some mornings you wake up and you're like, what am I even doing? What am I supposed to do today? Or you just feel sluggish. So it helps you to take away that thought of like, what should I be doing? And just go straight to that checklist and regroup and just say, okay, maybe I'll do this later because mentally I just can't right now. And then, we have things like CEO time. We have to also think about not working on the external aspects of our business, but the internal things that we need to do to keep things going. So for me, that might be content creation for our YouTube channel or even for just our different social platforms. I am a firm believer of we are always learning. So I have some education time scheduled in for learning about tech and all these other things and networking. In fact, we should probably have a little time to be able to do that too. Um, so this just gives you an idea of different mini focus zones that you could create and block off time for on your calendar. This is a feature called appointment slots actually in Google Calendar. I'm not sure if anyone knows about that feature. So so whether you're on the starter plan or one of the higher plans, you have the ability to create appointment slots. And it's really where you can create dedicated blocks for that focus work or those mini focus zones that we talked about in the last slide. So it lets others know when you're available or not. So whether it's just you or, you have a small team, a pro tip here is you can set recurring appointment slots for your focus time and be able to share it with your team or anybody that you collaborate with so that they're able to see when you're available or not. And then I'll take a pause here just to see if we have anything in the chat. Okay, so I see a question from Myra saying, do you have suggestions on the scheduling tools where clients can put appointments directly on your free space on the calendar? So I'm assuming that that is a question about clients being able to book based on your availability. And there's a few that I mentioned. So one of them is if you're on, I believe it's the next plan up from the starter plan in Google, you're able to have Google Bookings, which is create availability and then people can book based off of that. But there's also Calendly and there's Acuity as well that are scheduling tools. Okay. Okay, got it. All right. So we're in a webinar form today, but I believe in learning, but I believe in action as well. So once you receive the slides, you'll be able to look back and do a little activity where you can pick a strategy based off of the topics that we've discussed today and spend 2 minutes, like put a little timer on. I use Pomodoro Or I even recently bought this little timer or yeah, a little timer that sits on my desk and I could just time it. And we want to be able to really put strategies into action. So this can be a way for you to think about your own processes and the tools that you're using and being able to maximize on that. Okay, so I love a good tool. And of course, I had to share some bonus. So if you're using Google Workspace, there is a tool, or I don't know, I guess it's a more of an addition. And it's Google Marketplace. So this is really a big store where you can find apps to make Google's Office programs even better. It's easy to access, really just through a link in your browser. And these apps are made by Google and other developers and can do lots of different things. So think of like improving your communication tools or helping you with editing files. Some are free, while others might have extra features you can pay for. It's like getting cool new tools to make your Google Workspace experience even more useful. And don't worry, for those using Outlook, it's not as robust, but they also have they call it Outlook apps, I believe. So I'm going to actually drop this in the chat. So for those using Outlook, they have a similar marketplace that you may be able to find some similar tools that I'll talk about next. All right, perfect. So some of the recommended Google apps from the marketplace that I currently use or know of clients using are, let's see. So the first one I'll talk about is Zoom for Google Workspace. So Zoom for Google Workspace, it helps you to schedule and join meetings easily from Gmail and Google Calendar. So say you're on the go and you need to schedule a meeting, you open up the Google Calendar app from your phone. You're able to select where you're having the meeting, being the platform is Zoom, and it's integrated. And then you're able to not have to hop into Zoom and Google Calendar. You're able to just create that, select that you're going to be having it on Zoom, and all the meeting details will populate into the Google event that you're creating. Now, I don't know about you, but that it not hopping from one app to the other app is like golden. And so that's a great plugin. There's a bunch of things that you can do with it, but that's another that's one I definitely recommend. There is ChatGPT and Google Sheets and Docs. So really, this one is a tool that uses AI to help with tasks like data cleaning and translation in Google Sheets and Docs. Another one would be the Task Manager app for Google Tasks. So it helps you to manage and organize your task on a full screen, like Kanban style. And I'm going to share a little bit about that in the next slide. So with Streak, which this is a CRM for Gmail. So a CRM is a customer relationship management tool, and this helps you to manage sales and customer relationships right from Gmail and Google Calendar. The last one, actually, not the last one. The next one that I'll talk about is appointment booking. I always want to say the name wrong. I think it's like Kowalander. So with this one, if you're, and this actually goes for the person that was asking earlier about a scheduling tool. This is another one that's included when you have Google Workspace. So this is inside of the marketplace, and you're able to create a booking page that someone can, um, book with you and schedule appointments directly, and then they'll land on your Google Calendar. That's for people who might not want to pay for another platform. And so that's that for a few apps that I would recommend. Oh, the last one is form notifications. So for those who use Google Forms, if you are if you are looking to be able to send a personalized message, you can have this plugin, and then it's almost like a little bit of email marketing to them, because there's a way that you can even put the recipient's name in there and have it automatically go out after someone's filled out your Google form. So that's usually that's a good tool, because then you won't have to do that second piece manually. All right. So I'll just pause here. Let me see in the chat if there's any questions. Or did you have any that kind of popped out at you, Jane?
I'm getting caught up in this chat chat thing.
Is the chat going juicy? Is the last thing going is happening in the chat?
We're trying to figure out if we can copy the chat and send it to everybody.
Oh, okay. So from
sorry.
my end, I'm seeing that I can save the chat. So but I'm not sure. So I'll go ahead and hit it from my end. And then if anything, if the participants can't save it now, maybe what I can do is send it to you, and when you send the email, it can go.
That would be great. Here,
Okay.
there's one about does Google Calendar integrate with iCalendar? Or do you recommend managing everything through Google?
Yeah, so I don't merge it into so I do have an iPhone. I don't really use iCalendar. I merge everything into Google Calendar. Mainly because that's where my Google Workspace main account is located. And it helps me to see not just business, but personal, the family stuff, everything all at one view. So hopefully that answered the question.
Okay,
All right.
there's some questions about somebody would like to talk about Google Task Board.
Oh, I'm about to talk about that.
Okay, so that's coming up. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
A couple of people are asking about password management apps.
Oh, okay. So I'll talk about that. Let's save that one for Q&A.
Okay.
Okay. All right, perfect. So yes, I'm actually going to talk about Google Task Board now. And so this is included in your Google Workspace account as well, or things that you have access to. I'm going to show you also what kind of like a process that how Google Workspace can be used to help you to get to inbox zero. So earlier I mentioned that Google Task can put it in a Kanban form. Or so if you've ever used anything like a project management tool like Trello or ClickUp, or those type of things, it puts it in this view where you can create different statuses, like maybe this is your whole to-do list, this may be stuff that's in progress, maybe this is stuff that's completed. It's just allowing you to organize your task. The beauty of it though is that this now integrates with your Google Calendar and Gmail, so you can again help to like plan your day and see, I have these tasks, where can they fit in on my calendar? And you can do tags, colors, um, and even share them with anyone. So, how I look at the sharing is that if you're a small, lean team, or even if you're a family using it, you're able to add and share people to the task list and be able to collaborate together easily. And so, um, a pro tip here would be to start by categorizing your email. So you can use Google Task Board to be able to, inside your Gmail account, like say you have emails in your inbox, they're not emails that you can answer in 2 minutes. they need to go back and forth, or maybe you need to follow up. But instead of working it in your email, consider it like a project, and being able to use Google Task, which is a feature inside of the email, and then being able to create a task from it. So from the task, it goes onto Google Task Board. You can archive it out of your inbox. And this is where the Google Task Board would be where you would work. So if you have a small lean team, you're able to, or even if you're by yourself, you're a solopreneur, you can start by categorizing your emails based on priority, using labels like urgent, important, and to do, um, anything that suits your fancy. And next, create corresponding task on your Google Task Board for each email category. Set deadlines, really be able to work each task and kind of have less things falling through the cracks. You want to regularly review it though and update your task board to stay organized. And as you complete things, mark them as done. And so by integrating Google Task Board into your workflow, you'll efficiently manage your inbox and reach inbox zero in no time. So I wanted to share that as a tool. Um, Even though I did mention SaneBox earlier, we still have to work things like a project, and a lot of us just kind of keep our emails inside of our inbox, or just our email in general, and that's where we work it, and that's where we try to house all the things we need to do inside of our brain, and we can only keep so many files in there. So looking for simple tools that can allow you to do that. Now, I mentioned earlier, it's not just all about Google. We're not here to just promote that. Um, my process has morphed over the years. We started using Google Task Board, and now we use a project management tool called ClickUp to be able to manage our emails and have Chrome extensions and those type of things. But I believe in starting simple. I believe in trying a process and trying a tool and seeing how it can help you, and then being able to advance once you actually understand and know your process. And so, just to recap, today we talked about practical tips to help you um, really manage your inbox and create some organization around that. We talked about time saving techniques, such as time blocking, color coding, those type of things with your calendar. And then Google Workspace tools for collaboration and productivity. And so, with that in mind, I just want to remind you that we are all out here fumbling and stumbling. I'm a small business looking for solutions just like you to streamline my operations. But I'm very passionate about finding ease in my daily tasks through simple yet effective tech solutions. And so I want to say, you know, I want to allow this time for you to be able to give feedback, and also as a kind of like a bonus, or thank you for spending your time and getting valuable information that can help streamline your business, being able to provide a free consultation for those who complete our feedback questionnaire. And so in that 30 minutes, we're able to um, again, I believe in learning, but being able to take action. So if there's something that's holding you back, or something we could elaborate on a little bit more that's personal to your situation, we could talk about in that session. So with that in mind, we're going to, so I also dropped it in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, so I dropped it in the chat, but there's a QR code here as well. And I'll drop it in the chat one more time because this chat is jumping.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I jump in with a couple of questions?
yeah, we're actually going to jump to Q&A now.
Great. I'm going to go back up a little ways in the chat, but somebody was asking about confidentiality. should we be concerned about giving these different apps access to our emails, especially since a lot of communication could be confidential?
Yeah, so I think they need to be specific because is it just the Google Workspace apps, or are they talking about? I'm assuming that's what they're talking about, and so I'll answer based off of that. One of the things that Google prides themselves in is the cybersecurity, and they have different ways that if that is a major concern, that's not my lane of expertise. If there are specific questions that you have regarding that, they are very responsive as far as those questions. And I believe even on the marketplace, there is detail about confidentiality and security and kind of helpful hints on what to download and maybe giving restrictions on other things.
Thank you.
Sure.
Um,
I wanted to hop back to your question about the password manager.
oh, yes, please.
Um yeah, so there's a few different ones out there. I can only speak about what I use. Again, it's perspective and what you feel comfortable with. So currently we use LastPass, and with LastPass we are allowed to, we share passwords with our teammates. And then also we're allowed to, or I'm sorry, we use it to do that with clients. We don't like to get emailed passwords or login information, or just sent via messaging.
I think the same person that said about the confidentially, she was more concerned about the smaller apps like Sanebox.
Oh, okay. So with those two, when you're I actually spoke with their team as well. They are very responsive. If there's a specific question you have, um I would say reach out to them directly.
Right. Mary wants to know, can I put an email and Outlook in multiple folders like Gmail?
I would have to research that. Mary, you can go ahead and fill out the feedback questionnaire, and then we can probably dive a little deeper to your specific need.
Can Google Workspace set up calendar booking with multiple booking types?
Yes, so that you would need not the starter tier. I believe it's the next tier up. It allows you to literally have a booking page so you can do the different appointment types.
Do you know if you get discounts when buying Google apps in the marketplace?
Well, majority of them are free. And then if you like, for instance, the booking one that I use, Coalander, if you want to add different features like maybe extra reminders and things of that nature, then you would pay. Honestly, I feel like it's still a nominal fee because I think even with that one to upgrade, it was like $6 per month. So I think it just varies.
Okay, and Google Works, is for Google Workspace, is everything online, or can I download some apps on my computer or cell phone to be used? I don't
Oh
quite
yeah, you can definitely have some of the apps on. You can have the some of the apps on your computer, or you can have it on your phone. You know, like for an example, like just like your Google Calendar or maybe your Gmail. Um, I don't try to keep a lot of apps on my phone because then that will make me want to go in and work when I probably shouldn't be working. So, um, but I'm pretty sure you can.
And I think you talked about this before, but somebody's asking about, doesn't Google have the folder creation and organization in its own apps. How is that different from SaneBox?
Well, one in particularly is that it's using an AI function. And so with the features that Google has as far as the folders and filters, they actually like you still have to manually create your folders and create auto filters based off of specific things, like maybe a specific person sends you something, or um like one example for us is we have Google Alerts set up for industry related news, that we have that automatically flows into a folder that doesn't hit our inbox because we just need it for specific things. Um, so yeah, it's different. It's different in the sense of the automation piece.
SaneBox is more automated?
Yeah, it's more automated and it's using AI.
Okay. Yeah, it's more intuitive. Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. And this we're getting close to the end. You've talked about Google platforms. What can you tell us about other platforms such as Zoho for similar business apps?
Yeah, so Zoho is a great tool. I actually remember years ago when they came to West Orange and did like this whole presentation before they became Zoho One. But I always tell people, like, again, I go back to, it's not about the tool. Tools will change. The best tool is the one you'll actually choose. So pick one and try it. With Zoho, I like it. It's very robust. Um, my only advice for someone getting started with Zoho is to pick one portion of it and start first mastering that before you get very overwhelmed with because I think they have a ton of apps inside. I don't even know how many at this point that they have inside of their platform that you can utilize.
And then you talked a little bit about, maybe go back and remind us about the process. You said that the tool is just a tool.
Yeah, yeah. So when I say that it's really more, if anything, I'm hoping that you take away today is that it's about understanding your process and your strategy. So thinking like, okay, even for inbox management, what what is that workflow looking like for you? Is it that you're using a tool like Sanebox and then your assistant or yourself is then going in and working the emails? And then do you have another, are you using Google Taskboard then to not be working your emails inside your inbox, but to create or think of it more like a project for the things that can't be answered in 2 minutes? So it's really thinking through, what does that look like for you? Because each business is unique. Somebody might be getting 300 emails a day where somebody else could be getting like 1,000 emails a day. So it's just really understanding that first and then picking a tool that'll complement something that actually matches not just your workflow, but also your price point. Because there's other things I could show you, but they might not be matching your price point currently.
This is good. I think we are out of time. We filled that. There's lots and lots of information to think about. So everybody's got to go home, I guess, and just play around with the tools and see which one works for you and
Yeah,
and addresses your needs. So
definitely
Denise,
play
thank you
around.
so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much again for all the good information.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me. So I wanted to also
Oh, there you
say
go.
thank you to everyone that, spent some time with us today. And then there's also helpful hints here. You can find SCORE resources at the website described here. Um, to book an appointment with a SCORE mentor, you can visit this website here. And then also to contact me about questions about the presentation, you can email us, but we're probably going to send you the feedback questionnaire as a response. So that would be the best way. And I'm actually going to drop it in the chat again. And then I wanted to say thank you for your participation. I can't even speak at this moment, participation. And I don't know if you had anything else to say, Jane.
No, I just wanted again to thank you for taking your time and sharing this excellent information with us, and to thank
Yeah.
everybody for joining us. Go get
Thank
a
you,
score
everyone.
mentor, contact Tanisha for any additional help you need, and hopefully we'll see you all again soon.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.